सबसे important is faith in Allah and faith in one own self. You have to have a great support system starting from the home, decision of the individual and the behavior of the individual and the culture that that person drives, especially if they're at the leadership. Currently, I'm the CEO of a company that I started at a consultant level. I started from the HR and we are now, mashallah, across 30 countries. You cannot do this alone. You have to work with integrity. You have to rise above your challenges. No matter what the trauma may be, you have to be supportive of your family, but you have to have self-care. Assalamu alaikum, Fatima Asad Said. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to talk about one's journey, especially linking up with International Women's Day. But I feel that one of the hallmarks has always been to focus on creating value, and that is defined throughout my journey as well. That is a part of how we were brought up as a family as well. Okay, you add value which is sustainable, but work with integrity and focus on building long-term relationships. Focus on the solution, not on the problem. In all of this, it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of learning that you fall down, there are failures. And I believe that kind of encapsulate my own journey, my professional journey that has been there. It's also not a journey made alone. You have to have a great support system starting from the home. I was very privileged and lucky to have the support of my father and of course my mother, who focused on the fact that all of us were 5 siblings and we had equal opportunity in terms of education, in terms of our lifestyle, everything. And to go to the best and be driven by the best was part and parcel of how we were raised. But family was the most important aspect and still is the most important aspect. So ये दोनों चीज़ें जब आप मिला लेते हैं ना, it becomes very powerful. And of course, सबसे important is faith in Allah and faith in one own self because of the support we have. At the end of the day, that हर दुआ जो है वो काम आती है. So you have to realize what you can do today, which will make tomorrow better, even if you may not be there yourself tomorrow. That remains the focus. So my own journey starts with that. As I said, while I have been very lucky, mashallah, and continue to be there, to be lucky. The support that I've had from my parents, then my brothers, and then my husband is unparalleled. I cannot be grateful enough for that. But it's also a journey that you make on your own, where the opportunities present, educational, and then in the workplace, you have to sometimes you have to take your own decisions as well. It's like you have a door, it opens for you, but we have to step through it, and we also have to stay in the room. Staying in the room means our own performance, our own ability to step up and persevere, be resilient when you fall and you make mistakes. You learn from those mistakes and then you rise. But you do this in a sort of a teamwork effort. Academically, we lived abroad in Saudi Arabia, so I had the privilege to go to an international school over there, came back. The rest of my academic journey was in Pakistan, qualified from LUMS, mashallah, and as far as my MBA degree is concerned. And then when I went into the workplace, तो जब मैंने graduate किया, and I come from a family of finance experts. My mother was brilliant in maths. We all, because of her guidance and my father's support, we were all very good in maths. and most of my siblings are chartered accountants. My father is a chartered accountant, so it sort of said कि अच्छा मैं भी MBA finance करूँगी. And during my MBA, I did focus on finance, but in the last term, I realized कि जितने भी हम case studies कर रहे थे, it involved the person, the CEO, the sales manager, the person on, the customer service representative. It came back to the person. And I said, no matter what kind of systems and structure and processes and policies you may have, it's the individual and the decision of the individual and the behavior of the individual and the culture that that person drives, especially if they're at the leadership. And I found that fascinating. अब ये मैं late 90s की बात कर रही हूँ. उस वक्त HR was not what it is right now. It was still personnel and admin, but I was very fascinated by organizational behavior. So I took the brave or bold decision to go into that particular field right at the end. So when I started looking for jobs, my parents said, "Okay, till you get married, you'll work in Lahore." And all of the good positions as far as HR is concerned were in Karachi. Head offices udhar the, most of the multinationals as well. So when I looked around, the only company that I found was the one that my father founded. We were Coopers and Lybrand at that time, and we had an HR consulting setup. So he says, you're not going to join. You're going to go into the industry, you work over there, and then you come back. So I said, ये तो फिर problem हो जाएगी इसके, how will I work? And he said कि नहीं, so anyway, what I did was I went to his HR director and who offered me a job. And I went back to my father and I said, I've got my first appointment letter. He wasn't very pleased, but I just took the initiative, and it was a very bold decision. And I'm very particular about not disagreeing with my father. So I felt that just changed my trajectory. Now, 27 years later, after working, mashallah, currently I'm the CEO of a company that I started at a consultant level. I started from the HR, and we are now, mashallah, across 30 countries. But there have been difficult times. My brother and I were the ones who were helping my father take the legacy forward. We celebrate 40 years, and unfortunately, tragically, I lost my brother last year. And it has been very difficult because life as you know it changed. He was heading our international operations. I was helping him over here. So the transformation it impacts you. Your personal life impacts the professional decisions you take. And I'm going to just quickly go through this. So there's so much learning that takes place on a daily basis. But you cannot do this alone. You have to work with integrity. You have to rise above your challenges. No matter what the trauma may be, you have to be supportive of your family, but you have to have self-care. And I'm in a position where the decisions I make, the time I spend impacts the 4,500 people who work with us, the clients that we serve, the ecosystems that we are, the partners that we work with. And we are very lucky that, and I'm very grateful that the culture of innovation, of empowerment within our organization allows us to have this reputation that we continue to add value. The key to success is ensure that your culture has dignity and empowers, but also looks at performance-based approach, enables long-term relationships which are sustainable, and that's how we transform ourselves and add continuous value. Diversity and inclusion are key of what we are doing within Abacus. So I thank you for this opportunity. I hope this was meaningful as well, but we must rise to the challenge together and change not only the communities and the organizations that we are part of, but that this great nation. It is possible. So thank you.